I have got a room full of musicians here that I am just real thrilled to have. And let me get their microphones cranked up here so that you can talk to them. Hi, Kara. You are on. You're live. I hope you can hear. You may not be able to hear with my microphone on too well, but I've got you where I can watch the meters on here to make sure we're at the right level.
How you doing?
I am terrific. Thank you.
I love your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. It's one of my. It's for my favorite designer. It's Robert Graham.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's too bad they can't see that on the radio.
Right.
And that's great. Kara Grainger's here with us. She's going to be tonight with her band. That's and you want to introduce them to us too and tell who they are and what they're doing?
Yeah. Tonight we're playing at the Conway Muse at 7:30.
Right.
And I'm very lucky. I've got Dave Fleschner with me on keys.
Yep.
And he'll be playing Hammond organ and keys tonight.
You couldn't get that in here today. The keyboard looks funny jammed into that corner, doesn't it? It's great.
With the 5-minute window of rushing in here, and
right.
We probably already freaking you out. We didn't want to freak you out anymore, Gregory.
Not at all, Kara. Not at all. Everybody calls me on the way. They go, "We're running late." I said, "Yeah, that traffic on I-5 is just a killer coming up from Seattle. It really is."
And we also have Simon Lucas on drums. So,
great. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll enjoy Conway Muse. I don't know whether you've been there yet or not, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's just a really wonderful place to play. You'll enjoy it. And Elfa's, I've never met her, and I've had a lot of her artists in here. At some point in time, I've got to go down and introduce myself. But tell us a little bit about, you've got a brand new album, which I have here I brought on iTunes earlier in the week so that I could listen to it. It's called Living with Your Ghost. Mm-hmm. And there's something special about this album that I like a lot. It was produced by Anders Osborne.
That's right.
And also he sings a duet on that with you. Yeah.
He does, and he plays a lot of rhythm guitar.
Good.
Too. It was mostly done live in the studio in Austin, Texas.
Oh, you didn't record in New Orleans then?
No. We actually had a couple of musicians from Austin, and friends of mine that I knew.
Yep.
J.J. Johnson, who plays a lot in the Tedeschi Trucks band on drums, and Dave Monzi on bass.
Right.
Texas Horns also were on there. And I've spent quite a bit of time in Austin, and I love it there. And
it's a great town.
A lot of musicians and friends that I know there.
Good. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't realize, of course, I've been an Anders Osborne fan for a long time, but a lot of people don't realize, since he's kind of envisions New Orleans, that he's from Sweden originally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've never heard him talk. Does he have a Swedish accent, or he's gotten rid of it, huh?
Well, I think he went there when he was a really young child,
right.
I think. So he's very, he just has, the music just flows out of him so naturally. He's an amazingly gifted musician. I don't know if he had it to begin with or it's living in New Orleans all those years. A combination of both, I think.
I played a song of his last week. I was going to play it this week, but I was running short on time. But it was Drunk, Naked, and Stoned.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of my...
He's been there.
Yeah,
I reckon he's been there.
Yeah,
he's been there, and he's been through it to the other side.
He kind of looks a little weathered at 51 years old, but he doesn't look too bad, though, that's for sure. What would you like to play to start out with us? Because we want to get as much of you on here as we can between now and the time you got to head back towards Conway Muse.
Yeah, I'm going to play a song for you on my 60s harmony guitar. Play a little bit of slide. And
I've been telling them that you're a fantastic slide guitar player, too, so that's great.
This is called Working My Way Back Home.
Great.
Gold and silver so far. I got so far to go. Hey, sweet temptation, ride me blind. Oh, my world come tumbling down. Went to the well, darling, too many times. There's nobody's fault, no fault but mine. I'm working, yeah, working my way back home. No, but I still got so far to go, working my way back home. Ooh, it's so easy, baby, falling down, coming back. It's a long, hard climb. Working my way, baby, to your heart. It's like a one step forward, two steps back. I'm working my way back home. Oh, but I still got so far. I got so far to go. Working my way back home, yeah. And I know I won't be long. On my way, I'm on my way back home.
Thank you, all three of you, so much. Working my way back home from the new album by Grainger called Living with Your Ghost. And she and the trio here tonight will be playing at Conway Muse at 7:30 p.m., which is about 10 minutes from the studio here, I think. So
Right.
And a great place a great venue is what I wanted to say. Cara, tell me a little bit. I know you grew up in Australia and were part of a family band to start out with. What part of Australia? I've been there a couple of times, but I forgot. I walked off and left my crib sheet.
That's cool. I'm from the inner west in Sydney.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're pretty close to the Sydney Harbour. You think about the Opera House and
Potts
20
Point.
minutes. Potts Point? Wow, that's a random
I
one.
stayed in Potts Point when I was
Okay.
there in 1990. That's how I knew about
Yeah,
that. And you had to
yeah.
walk to my office. You had to walk past the red light district, as they always say, tempting.
Yeah.
It may not even be there anymore. That was been 28 years ago when I was
It
there.
is.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Now you'll find fancy restaurants
and all of that
coffee
there as
shops,
well.
but it's
Yeah.
still there. Yeah.
Good. And besides Anders Osborne, who is actually a good-looking guy, I don't want to put that off because he He's a super guy. And I like to tease about the artist when people can't see them. You know? But who else has been an influence on you as a singer, songwriter, and slide guitar player?
Well, I started, getting into music listening to my parents' record collection, and my mum was into a lot of folk music, and she'd bring in Joni Mitchell and to the house, and I looked up to a lot of female performers too, like Maria Muldaur and Emmylou Harris, and when I was first learning to sing, there's some of the women that I would get inspired by.
Right.
And then my brother, who's a harp player, blues harp player, brought in a lot of soul and blues and funk into the house.
Yeah.
And we started a band together that was called Papa Lips and toured around Australia.
That I do remember reading about.
Right.
I mean, you were pretty young at the time when you both did that, weren't you? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think that maybe about 17 or something.
I was going to say you weren't even out of your teens yet when that happened. Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. That's great. And then when did you start your solo career?
That was around about 12 years ago or so, and I've been writing my own songs and doing some separate projects from the band the whole time.
Right.
But I came over to the States then and worked with a great producer in Los Angeles, and was really fortunate to work with these wonderful, wonderful musicians there. And I'm up to my fourth album now as a solo performer, living with your ghost.
Yeah.
And this is through Station House Records, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's it's a progression to make better and better, more meaningful music the whole time, and I think this is one step closer.
It's a fantastic. I've listened to it 3 or 4 times, and I had several that stood out on there, although they weren't the ones that were written up in Billboard and some of the others there, but.
Love to know what you like.
Yeah, it is, and let's see, I'm just trying to look here. Of course, I enjoyed the duet that you did with Anders Osborne, but Love Will Get You Through the Door was one that I really enjoyed. I thought that was a great, song on there as well. Would you like to do another song for us?
Sure.
It sounds great.
Well, actually, we might do the one that I did write with Anders in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
And... funny enough, it's called You're in New Orleans. LA seems so far away. Don't remember leaving yesterday. I'm sitting here watching the ships rush in. Easy, they're rolling on upstream. Miss my friends at home, but I don't feel bad at all. Ooh, what does it mean? It feels like a dream. You're in New Orleans.
Also from the new CD called Living with Your Ghost by Grainger, my special guest with her trio here today. There's more music coming out of this room than in the 2.5 years that I've been here. It's great. Yeah, most people don't even dare to attempt bringing in the instruments that you have today. It's usually just acoustic guitar that comes in. So this is great. What a great sound. It's just terrific. Kara will be playing with the trio tonight at Conway Muse, just south of Mount Vernon, Washington, at 7:30 p.m.
That's right.
The new album, again, let's put a plug in for that while we're at it, too, is called Living with Your Ghost. This is number 4, I think you said a few moments ago.
That's right. And, it's on iTunes. And,
I know.
You know, that's
right.
Yeah. And you can get it on Station House Records.
Great.
Through there, or Amazon as well.
Good.
All the usual
Got
places.
them all. Yeah. Hard copy if you want it to.
Yeah.
That's super. I think that I read where you are now living in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, I am. I've actually, with this album coming out, I've been touring around a lot, so I haven't been there very much. But when I do get back, I enjoy, hiking in the mountains around there and getting out into the nature around the place. And it's not all. It's such a huge place, Los Angeles, that it's not just the concrete jungle that you'd expect.
No.
There's a lot of great stuff going on there. So.
There's just an incredible music scene there, isn't there?
That too, yeah.
Yeah. In addition to the film industry, which everybody, of course, knows about, but a lot of great bands, California originated and not California originated, that base out of there now. No doubt about it. I'm glad you enjoy that down there. Where's your tour taking you to next? I knew you were in Eugene last night. Then I think you're headed to Canada, aren't you? From
That's
here?
right. Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah.
And I'm actually at the end of September coming back to Seattle.
Oh, good.
Yeah, on the I think it's the 21st over there. The Highway 99 and Richmond. Also, I'll be playing.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. That's a couple of hours away from here, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Well, it's not that far as the crow flies, but going on I-5, sometimes you can get on a bicycle and get there a little faster. I mean, the traffic is just gotten horrendous, and our infrastructure hasn't quite caught up with it yet.
Well, it's a global phenomenon.
It is indeed, isn't it? Yeah. I tried to hide up here, but it's not working for sure. Tell me a little bit too about these guys these good-looking fellows that are traveling with you here.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can hear them. There's no mic over there, but Dave Fleschner is a wonderful singer-songwriter as well. He has a couple of albums out that you can also purchase online,
That's
right?
true, yeah. I have a website, davefleschner.com.
Great.
As well.
That's great. And obviously keyboards, Hammond upright, a little bit of everything you talked about.
Yeah. I like all the keyboards. I like the Wurlitzer. I love the piano, and I love the Hammond. And I want a clavinet. I have all those other keyboards, but I don't. But right now I'm playing a Nord Stage because they fit better in this package.
Good. They sure fit better
for traveling,
here, don't they?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, too.
I'm based out of Portland, and I'm kind of a drummer for hire out there. I toured with the Von Trapps for a few years.
Oh, you did?
Going all around the world. And,
yeah.
Now I'm just playing with whoever needs a drummer.
I've got a little travel.
Yeah.
Don't you have an album coming out too?
I do. I have a band called Tapwater that has a new album produced by Steve Berlin from Los Lobos.
Steve Berlin.
Yeah, that'll be coming out in February.
That's
pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Well, you guys have got just a super sound that you've got, the three of you together. You're really tight, and we've got a little bit of time still left here. Could we squeeze in a third song before you get out of here and head to either get something to eat or directly down to the venue?
Sure.
It sounds good. What would you like to do?
I might do the title track off the CD.
Oh, beautiful song. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's called Living with Your Ghost. Sorry that I hurt you, cause you pain. You are the sunshine let you go. You were the best I ever had. I was just too young to know. Now you're gone. I'm living with you, baby, turn me on with a touch of your hand. Made me feel so beautiful. How could I be so blind? Yeah, you waited so long. This time, it's my turn to be the one. How that gets left behind, even after all these years. Can't seem to let you go. You are the best thing I ever had. I was just too young to know. Now you're gone. I'm living with your ghost. Living with your ghost. Baby, you've been on my mind. Even after all these years, can't seem to let you go. You are the best thing I ever had. I'm just too young to know. Now you're gone, living with your ghost. Living with your ghost. Baby, you've been on my mind. Living with your ghost.
Well, I can see why you chose that for the cover of your album, because that is just fantastic, really is. I also wish, like you said about my shirt, I wish our audience could see the passion in your face and the smile. You truly enjoy this, all of you do, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Oh God, that's you're funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I want to be sure. We've got about 4.5 minutes here, so I want to make sure I get everything about my special guest here is Kara Grainger. And she will be performing tonight with her trio at 7:30 p.m. at Conway Muse. It will. If you've listened to the audition, interview, everything today, you'll know it'll be a fantastic show there tonight, and it's a great venue, a great place to perform at, a great place to listen to music. And I also want to talk about Kara's new CD called Living With Your Ghost, which was the title cut that she just performed. iTunes, Amazon. What was that name of that station?
The record company, where you can also purchase a physical copy or vinyl, if
Right.
anybody's into that
Yeah.
these days, is stationhouserecords.com.
Stationhouserecords.com. Sounds real
Traveling
good.
with vinyl.
What's that?
He's traveling with vinyl.
I do have a few with me.
Good
yeah.
for you. Good for you.
It's fun.
Have
It's
they been,
good to bring it back.
Have they been popular? Have people been
Yeah.
buying them?
Uh-huh.
You know, I had Sawyer Fredericks in here. I think it was 3 weeks ago today, and he brought this. It's a double vinyl CD that he has, and the artwork on it. I mean, it looked like something that ought to have been up in the LA Museum. Well, I should have brought it to show it to you. It was pretty.
Her artwork is beautiful too. It's
Really.
Oh, you did the artwork for that as well?
Well, that's part of the. I think also the appeal with the vinyl, isn't it? That you get to, there's a lyric sheet in there that I put in, and I think the artwork for the album and the photography, which was by Tony Bird Photography, is really wonderful.
Good.
And then you get to see, that in a larger scale and beautiful form. So, and the graphic designer did a wonderful job. So that's what I like about the vinyl. Yeah, you can appreciate the.
Terrific. I'm glad that you're doing
art.
that. The last few artists that have been coming through have all been traveling with vinyl. So I should not have gotten rid of that Bang & Olufsen turntable about 15 years ago that I've been carting around forever. But anyway, oh well, I can always go buy another one. That's for sure.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely. Kara, thank you. You were so courteous and responded almost immediately to my invitation to come join me here today. I'm thrilled. I know that our listeners at KSVU and KSVR and online at ksvr.org have all enjoyed listening to you and your songs. One last plug before you go out the door. Conway Muse at 7:30 this evening will be Kara Grainger and her band, and her new CD is called Living with Your Ghost. Please come back and see us the next time you're in the area. We'd love to have you.
Definitely will, yeah.
Super. Thanks so much. Well, I'm going to put another one of those songs off of that Ike and Tina Turner album here on the way to get you guys out the door. And that'll take care of me. Thank you so much. As I like to say, join me next week on KSVR and KSVU. I'll be back between 2 and 4 next Friday as well. Thanks, and have a great, great weekend.